Shalom Akim, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Ba'ashem, Kwakadash, Bram Nasha, DC Camp, another short lesson to edify the hopeful elect. Double honors and salutations to elders and apostles of great mystery and rule well. So as you can see on the screen, we got a so-called pyramid in the land of Nigeria, in the Igbo section. All right, that's the Israelite part, of Nigeria. Populated by Benjamin and Judah. All right, so Judah and Benjamin would definitely be Igbos in Nigeria. Levi would definitely be the Yorubas. So you have so-called pyramid structure. Then you got a bird on top of it, and then you also have a serpent. All right, with the tail at the top, the head pointing downwards. So it's all spiritual, because Elder Tahar, great mystery, double honors to the elders, have been talking about West Africans, Israelites, and you have a huge population here in West Africa, all the way from Senegal, Mali, Gambia, all the way down to the Congos, even East Africa. So you have a huge population of Israelites in West Africa. So you can see, man, it's all spiritual, just like when you read the history in the book of Numbers, it tells you about the situation that Israel had when they were murmuring against the Lord, that the Messiah had to jack up the nation by sending fiery serpents, and that's just part of it, man. This is one of the evidence, to prove that the so-called Igbos and Yorubas in Nigeria, even in West Africa, are Israelites, because you know how Esau is. He had to split up, the nations according to his endeavors, according to his business move. But all in all, it's just to get the birthright back, which he cannot do. All right, so uh, if you can zoom in, you could just type in the brazen serpents in Igbo land. You're gonna see this structure. All right, so it's beautiful. I wish I could zoom in some more, but nonetheless, you could see, I could just so it says a scaled down version of the tower with a brass snake and the bird that adorned the Oba's palace in Benin City. All right, so Benin City is basically the city inhabited by the Benjamites, you know. So you could read about the kingdom of Benin and the Obas. That's the tribe of Benjamin. They had contact with Esau, during the Esau's move to conquer the southern kingdom of Jacob. So they had skirmishes with Esau. Esau defeated them. He had a divided kingdom. And that's how Jake was able to be taken into captivity. All right, so it says the structure there is associated with the king's palace. All right, so it says before the 19th century. All right, so it says Museum of Traditional Nigerian Architecture, Jos, Nigeria. All right, so this was a picture that was taken. Nowadays you don't even know if I could get a current image of this. But I don't want writers the Lord Yahweh Shema Kadash would make it available. So you can see right there, man. If you dig through the scriptures, you see it. All right, so I'm going to read the book of Numbers, chapter 21. I'm going to read from verse 1 all the way to verse 9. All right, it's just history, right? So it says, and when King Arad, the Canaanite, which dealt in the south, heard that Israel came by the way of the spies, then he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoners. And Israel vowed a vow unto the Lord Yahweh and said, if thou wilt indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. So that's a promise our forefathers made, man. To destroy these Hamites, these Canaanites. You know, if the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai will grant us the victory over them. All right. And the Lord did. So you read verse 3 says, And the Lord Yahweh hearkened to the voice of Israel, and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities, and he called the name of the place Hormar. All right. And the point's going to start from verse 4. And they journeyed from the Mount Hor, or by the way of the Red Sea, to compass the land of Edom. All right, that's where the land of of Esau, the Caucasian, the white, so-called white folks, the Edomites that the Bible speaks of, the Europeans. All right, and the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way they doubted. They gave up. That's one thing the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai hates. A double mind. You know, folks pray and ask the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai for victory over the enemy, and now they're doubting again. So that's what pisses the Lord off. Musa loves a nation of people that's consistent, in righteousness. But our nation, man, we had the ups and downs, keep on tumbling and tumbling and tumbling, but for the elect's sake, that period of time, of tumbling up and down, being in captivity, will be cut short. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to make it, because there's so much iniquity in this world that, we can hardly keep the commandments properly. But through the law of faith, spirit of faith and law Yahweh Shema Shai, we're able, to do what the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai requires us to do. All right. And then verse 5 says, And the people spake against the power. Okay, that's the Most High's, and the Most High's government, all right, his rulership, and against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? We keep saying that's the favorite line, in the nation of Israel during the time they were moving from Egypt to trying to get to the land of Israel. They kept talking about, why the hell you bring us out here into the wilderness, out of Egypt to die. All right. For there is no bread, neither is any water, and our soul loaded this light bread. All right. They weren't feeling what the Moses was giving the people. All right. And then verse 6 says, And the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai sent fiery serpents among the people, and they beat the people, and much people of Israel died. All right. So that's one thing you have to be aware of, man. If you look at that image again, you have the bird on top, and then you look at the serpent, and then you have the pyramid. So it just lets you know, man, the nation of Israel is a peculiar nation unto the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, you know. So then you look at verse 7. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord Yahweh and against thee. Pray unto the Lord Yahweh that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. All right, he asked the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai for mercy on behalf of Israel. And the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai said unto Moses, Make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. All right. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. All right. So that's the point right there, man. And then you go back and look at the image again. If you look at the description, it says, just bear with me. I'm trying to adjust to see the caption at the bottom. So it says a scaled down version of the tower with a brass snake, all right, and a bird that adorned the Alba's palace in Benin City. All right, so that's the point right there, Akim. And then You could also pull up the video here. I got a quick video from Jake's. In the Benin Republic, you got Jake's, man. I would pull up that video real quick. Just bear with me. So here it is. All right, I'm gonna play it over here. So just so that right there, that's Ouida. All right, that's another way of saying the kingdom of Judah. The tribe of Judah of nation of Israel. All right, so Ouida is a land, a region in the land of Benin, and that's on the west coast of Africa. So you see all the Levites, majority of them are Levi. They're heading towards that temple of Pythons. Because in Benin Republic they speak French. All right, they speak French. They also speak English. They also speak their native, so-called native languages. All right, so you can see there, man, Ouida. All right, that's just another form of saying the word Yahweh in the Lashuan Kodash. So you see how the Levites line up, heading to the temple, trying to get blessings. And that's a problem with our people. Our people love to turn the works of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Sheh, upside down, So I play the video and then I get the precepts.
Python de Ouida est une véritable curiosité. Des touristes affluent de partout pour voir l'animal totem des familles Adjovi.
And they make a lot of money. People from all over the world come to the land of Ouida to see the serpents, to see the priests that take care of the so-called shrine or temple where these serpents are. All right, and they take pictures with them. They pay money before they go in, before they pass through the first gate, and they also have to pay. They want to take a picture with a serpent. What they have there is just pythons. There are no other serpents in there besides pythons, no cobras, no rattlesnakes, just pythons.
Zosumbo et Atakwaloko Abo. Selon l'histoire, ce serpent aurait sauvé les populations Oueda d'une guerre. Il leur a suffi de porter le python autour du cou pour que l'ennemi soit mis en déroute. C'est depuis ce temps que le python a été sacralisé par ses protégés qui lui vouent un culte particulier.
And when you do more research, you say, there are basically two types of pythons they have in there. You have the big one, they call that one Dagbe Dre, and the small one, Dagbe Bohum. All right, so you just keep on digging in. You're gonna see all that information. There's so much information about what Levi is doing in the land of of Benin Republic, and this is how the so-called Haitians, the Levites, on the Western Hemisphere. This is how they, this is where they got their whole idea of being religious from, man. And that's one thing the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai talked about, concerning Levi and Simeon. They're joined unto idols, instruments of cruelty, are in their habitations. They like to go deep into that witchcraft. That's one thing. The Simeon and Levites, the so-called Dominicans and the so-called Haitians, that's one thing they're experts at. You hear about people going to Dominican Republic, just dying because they had a drink of something, and then they realized it was some kind of solution, had bleach in it, whatever. It's terrible, but that's what it is, man. And it's the curses that we have to deal with.
Qui lui voue un culte particulier. De nos jours, la croyance au python semble s'imposer à tout Ouida. Quasiment personne ne le tue dans cette ville où le sacré a une consonance particulière et où la cohabitation religieuse est des plus parfaites.
Yeah, and there's a point there, Akim. So that's how, Levi gets down the land of Judah, in Benin Republic. You have Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, but at every point in time, it's always the Levites that stand out because this is what they get their hands into. All right, and then if you go into the book of Second Kings, and you read chapter 18 from verse 1 to verse 6. So it says, "Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hosea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kwakadash, according to all that David his father did." All right. So this King Hezekiah, is of the land of Judah. All right. And then in Benin Republic, it's called the land Judah. All right. So that goes back to the land of Israel. The land of the kingdom of Judah. All right. So it says in I read verse 3 again, "And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord Yahweh, according to all that David his father did." So he was a man after the Most High's heart, just like his father, David. "He removed the high places and broke the images, and cut down the groves, and break in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made." All right, I read that part again. "And break in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made." All right, going back to the book of Numbers. All right, when the Lord Yahweh Shemashah was jacking up our nation with those serpents, biting them. "For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it." All right, so that's one thing our people always been doing. They always like to, go deep into idolatry. All right, and that's why King Hezekiah had to destroy that brazen serpent. You know, and he called it Nehushtan. All right. Then if you look at the word Hebrew word for that Nehushtan. All right. So the word for serpent in Hebrew is Nakash. All right. And then keep scrolling down. All right. So you see that right there. So you have the Nakash, and then you have the Tan. So that's Nakashtan. So a tin of brass. All right. Nakash represents the serpent. All right. All right. So it's a name by which the brazen serpent made by Moses in the wilderness was worshipped in the time of King Hezekiah of Judah before he destroyed it. All right. So, all right. So it was made from copper and brass. Basically the same. All right. So that's it right there. Nakashta. All right, Nakashta. All right. So it's not over yet. So just gonna get a few more precepts. So that's how messed up our people have become, man. Going after these strange gods. All right. You could go deeper and see all that. So I'm gonna read from the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 30. You're going to look at verse 18 and verse 19. So it says, "There be three things which are too wonderful for me, yea, four which I know not. the way of an eagle in the air. All right. So in Nigeria, the national emblem, of the sports, the soccer team, they usually call it the Eagles. So, call them Super Eagles. All right. All right. So Super Eagle. And then it says, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid. So just pointers right there, man. The importance of a serpent and an eagle. They all play a role, in the destiny of Jake. This their symbol. They have a symbolic meaning to it. Okay, so and then you go to the book of John, because that serpent. When you're reading the book of John, the third chapter, it's referring to the Lord Yahweh Shai. Because he was the one that could grant healing to our people while they were in the wilderness. The shelter and provision of food and protection. That was all Yahweh Shai. Was that rock that followed the people, the light. All right. So this is John chapter 3. I'm going to read from verse 12, and then I'll stop at verse 15. So this is a conversation between Yahweh Shai and Nicodemus. So it says, if I have told you earthly things and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you heavenly things? So that's one thing our people, they claim to be spiritual, but their mind is not as spiritual as it needs to be. All right. And then it says in verse 13, and no man has ascended up to heaven but he that came down from heaven. Just like, Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4, who has ascended up into heaven and who has descended, what is his name and what is his son's name, if thou can tell. So, Yahushua is giving a hint, all right, that he is that person. So it says, this even the Son of Man which is in heaven. So he's the Son of the Most High that's in heaven. That he is the one that was able to go up into the heavens and return to the earth. And then it says in verse 14, and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. All right, that whosoever believeth on him should not perish but have everlasting life. So Yahweh Shai is saying, in a code that he is representation that of that serpent. That serpent represents him in the wilderness to save those that believed. Those that looked upon the serpent survived. The you know the the attack of the serpents. So that lets you know, man, that Lord Yahweh Shai is righteous, man, because it leaves all these clues, in the books and upon the face of the earth, different relief structures, whether it's in the caves, whether it's in the architecture, whether it's in paintings. You always have signs there for the elect to look into. All right, and then I might have to get another precept here. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 15. It says, there is no head above the head of a serpent. All right, and that's the point I'm trying to, stick with. So Yahweh Shai is that ultimate, serpent, because a serpent, according to the scriptures, represent wisdom. That's what Yahweh Shai says, be thou wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. All right, so that's the point right there, man. It just lets you know, man, that Jakes in West Africa, they still have those so-called, traits, the so-called, what you call it, evidences that they're the Israelites. The spirit still, have that zeal for righteousness, but it's just that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has not opened up their eyes yet. So you see there, man, you see the serpent, and then you see the bird above the pyramid, above all birds upon the face of the earth. The eagle is known to be the greatest, to be of the highest. So that's the point that I can, man, So I'm just gonna say Kal Halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Pastoral Well. And it's beautiful to have all these artifacts there, man. All these stories about Jake's journeys into West Africa. So this is just a glimpse, and Lord willing, I'll get another opportunity to look into the customs among Igbos and the Yorubas, man, because it's beautiful, man, to see that people are waking up. All right, so just keep the words of the Lord upon that heart, man. Pray the Lord Yahweh Shema shall continue to pour His spirits upon you to look, to search for the history of their forefathers, according to the Holy Scriptures in sincerity and in truth. So it's beautiful. I can, keep an open mind when it comes to conversing with the so-called West Africans about the Holy Scriptures. You don't want to be rash with your tongue, and then you start feeling, pissed off that you miss an opportunity, to dig in and see what they are about. Just like Elder Tahar says, you don't need no DNA test, man. It's all about the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. So with that, Akim Shalom.